السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي جعل الشمس والقمر حسبانا والنجم والشجر يسجدان، فضل زمانا على زمان ومكانا على مكان، كما فضل إنسانا على إنسان. والصلاة والسلام على نبينا وأعلانا وأولانا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. Welcome to Quranic Arabic Academy, Arabic Grammar Made Easy. Lesson number 5. Dua we do every day. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair wa bika nasta'in. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair wa bika nasta'in. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair wa bika nasta'in. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. In this lesson we're going to learn and understand nouns in Arabic have gender, which nouns are masculine and which nouns are feminine. Just a little bit of recap what's going on. In the beginning we've learnt kalima, and there are three types of kalima: ism, fi'l, and harf. Ism is name of people, animal, things. Fi'l is action. It gives the meaning of past tense, present tense, and future tense. Harf is a particle that comes with ism and fi'l to give us additional meaning. We are learning ism, and we will learn everything about ism. First thing we've learned, the ism has four properties. Number 1, al-i'rab. Number 2, al-naw'. Number 3, al-adad. And number 4, al-ta'yin. Number 1, al-i'rab. Number 2, al-naw'. Number 3, al-adad. And number 4, al-ta'yin. And we said we're going to learn all these four properties one by one. We have learned al-i'rab. I'rab is the grammatical state of an ism in the sentence. An ism can be in one of the three state, one of the three halat. So ism has three halat. Number 1, halatul raf'. Number 2, halatul nasb. And number 3, halatul jar. The ism is in halatul raf', is called marfu'. The ism is in halatul nasab, it is called mansub. And the ism is in halatul jar, is called majroor. The change of the haraka or a letter of the last letter of the noun is called i'rab. So this change either is with haraka or either with letters harf. If it's with haraka, the sign of marfu is dhamma, and the sign of mansub is fatha or kasra, and the sign of majroor is only kasra. Let's go through again. The sign of marfu is only dhamma. The sign of mansub is fatha and kasra. And the sign of majroor is only kasra. With the letters, the sign of marfu with harf is alif or waw, or alif and waw. The sign of mansub with harf is alif or and ya, and the sign of majroor with harf is only ya. Okay, so these are the Arab we've learned. Number 2 property of ism is an-naw, which is gender. So this is what we're going to learn in today's lesson. So in this lesson, we will understand that nouns in Arabic have gender, which nouns are masculine and which nouns are feminine. So once we know regarding the ism, the gender of it, then it will be easy for us to put the word in a sentence according to the grammar. Or whenever we see an ism in the sentence, we'll be able to recognize is this ism is the gender masculine or feminine. Now, gender. Masculine noun is called mudhakkarun. For example, man, rajulun. Feminine nouns or noun is called muannathun. For example, imra'atun, a woman. So rajulun is called mudhakkar and imra'atun is muannath. Because they are humans, rajulun, we can easily figure out mudhakkar, masculine, and imra'atun, muannas, feminine. So how are we going to find out the non-humans? So it's coming later in the lesson. In English, objects do not have a gender. Objects do not have a gender. Human, yes. Animals, yes, we have gender. But in English, object don't have a gender. But in Arabic, all asma have a gender. Either is humans, animals, non-human things, everything in Arabic, all asma have a gender. In English, we use he and she to refer to people, and we use it to refer to all other objects. Example, he is a boy, she is a girl, it is a book. So book is a thing, that's how we're referring it with it. And a boy is human, we are referring to with he. And the girl is also human, we're referring with she. But in Arabic, everything has a gender, and we have to refer the people or things with such words that is made for it. In Arabic, all asma have a gender. Right. Right, so there are some signs to know the ism is masculine or feminine. So an ism can be muannath in 4 ways. So we learn the muannath signs first. So once we know what are the muannath signs, and the other signs will be for mudhakkar. So there are only 4 ways to find out the ism is muannath or not. Number one, it is muannath by definition. Number one, muannath by definition. Number two, it ends with a ta marbuta or alif maksura, and alif maksura can be written in two ways, either a fatha, then there is a ya after it, I don't know where the ya is missing, or we can write we call this little alif or standing alif, stretching alif, and then there will be a ya after it. So both of the cases, fatha and ya after it, or this symbol ending fatha ya after it. This is called alif maksura. Any ism we see the end, this we will know it is muannas. And number three, alif mamduda, which is ending alif and hamza. Any ism that ends alif in and hamza, that is called alif mamduda, and that ism will be muannas. Another one, body parts that are in pairs. So all of our body parts, hands, eyes, legs, yeah, most of them are body parts, are muannas. Another one, feminine as heard from the Arabs. Okay. So we have one is feminine by definition. Number two, we have three symbols, ta marbuta, alif maksura, and alif mamduda. Number three, body parts that are in pairs. And number four, feminine as heard from the Arabs. Arab considers this ism feminine. We have to use that as feminine. Okay. So let's go through these four one by one in more details. Number one, feminine by definition. Nouns that cannot be used for male. This type of muannas is called muannas haqiqi. Nouns that cannot be used for male. For example, imra'atun. You cannot use this for male. It is female. For example, another example, Zainabu. You cannot use Zainab for male. Zainab is muannas haqiqi. So these are the example. Ummun, you cannot use for male. Bintun, daughter. Ukhtun, sister. And hamilun, pregnant woman. Okay, so hamilun, you cannot use it for male. So these type of ism are called muannas haqiqi. The other types of muannas are called muannas ghayru haqiqi. Muannas ghayru haqiqi. Those will be either muannas with signs or body parts or heard from Arabs. They're muannas. Okay, so now we know there are two types of muannas. One is muannas haqiqi. And what is muannas haqiqi? Nouns that cannot be used for male. That is muannas haqiqi. By nature, they are muannas. Okay. And the rest of the other types of muannas is called muannasun ghayru haqiqiyin. Muannath ghayr haqiqi. But two, feminine ism ends in ta marbuta, alif maksura, or alif mamduda. The three most common signs of muannas feminine are: number one, ta marbuta, at the end of an ism. Example, jannatun. So here we have the ta marbuta, jannatun, garden. Alif maksura. It is also written like this. I put the both ways written at the end of an ism. For example, kubra. So both we read with the stretching, kubra. Over here, although we have only a fatha, but there's a ya after it, no, this is alif maksura. We also stretch kubra. And this one, those of us we know, this fatha is also stretching. Kubra, kubra. This ism is used for biggest, feminine. Number three, alif mamduda, the end of an ism. Example, safra'u. There is a alif mamduda at the end, alif and hamza. Safra'u is yellow for feminine. These type of muannas are called muannathun alamatiyun, or muannath alamati. Alamat means sign. They are muannas with signs. So what are the signs? There are three signs. Number one, ta marbuta. Number two, alif maksura. Number three, alif mamduda. These are the only three signs you look for ism to make it muannas. Number three, body parts is. Most parts of the body in pairs are muannas. Example, aynun, eye, udhunun, ear, yadun, hand, rijlun, leg, qadamun, foot. These types of muannas are also called muannas sima'i, as heard from the Arabs. Muannas sima'i. Okay, so most parts of the body in pairs are muannas. For example, mouth is only one. It doesn't have a pair. One mouth. So mouth is mudhakkar. The most hands, we have two hands. Eyes, ears, two hands, two legs. Pair, qadam, pair. They are muannas and they are called muannas sima'i. And number four, feminine, as heard from the Arabs. There is a small number of words that are muannas for non-specific reason. We have to learn them and accept them as feminine because the Arabs said they are feminine words. Example, narun, fire, shamsun, sun, rihun, wind, khamrun, wine, nafsun, self, ardun, earth. These types of muannas are called muannas sima'i. Okay, so let's go through the four types of muannas again. Number one, muannas haqiqi. By nature, they are muannas, nouns that cannot be used for male. Muannas haqiqi. Number two, muannas with signs. And there are three signs: ta marbuta, alif maksura, alif mamduda. They are called muannas غير حقيقي. Number three, body parts in pairs. They are called muannas sima'i. Number four, some nouns Arab uses as feminine. They are also called muannas sima'i. These are the examples: narun, shamsun, rihun, khamrun, nafsun, and ardun. Okay. Everyone understood so far? Let's go through it again quickly. 4 ways. There are 4 ways to know ism is muannas. Number 1, muannas haqiqi. By nature they are muannas. Nouns that cannot be used for male. Number 2, muannas alamati. We know muannas by signs. By signs. And there are 3 signs. Number 1, ta marbuta at the end of ism. Alif maksura at the end of an ism. Alif mamduda at the end of an ism. Number 2, body parts in pairs. Most of them. Only 1 or 2. For example, khaddun, cheeks. We have 2, but khaddun is mudhakkar. Khaddun, cheek, is mudhakkar. But other rest parts is muannas. And number 4, feminine, as heard from the Arabs. They are called muannas sima'i. So remember, the body parts, those are muannas, are also called muannas sima'i, because Arab uses. We can put that in one list, isn't it? Muannas sima'i. But to make it easy, we have separated the body parts, and the rest of the isms are muannas. So remember, narun is muannas. So whenever we see the nar in the Quran, the word nar in the Quran, we will know is muannas. When we see the word shamsun, we know it is muannas. When we see the word rihun, we know is muannas. When we see the word khamrun, when we see the word nafsun, muannas. When we see the word ardun, muannas. Okay? These are all Quranic words. Next, masculine by definition. Some nouns can have muannas signs at the end of an ism, but they are masculine by definition. They are treated as masculine. For example, hamzatu. We've learned that ta marbuta is symbol or sign of muannas, but by definition, this ism is used for mudhakkar. So we'll treat these isms as mudhakkar, masculine. Talhatu, Talha, there's a round ta at the end. Zakariya, there's alif mamduda at the end. Alif and hamza, alif mamduda. Although the signs is there, but these nouns we use for mudhakkar. So there will be mudhakkar. There's a 2 ways of writing Zakariya, one with the hamza at the end or without the hamza. Zakariya or Zakariya. Right. So any ism that is used for mudhakkar, but we see signs of muannas, because they're used for mudhakkar, they will be treated as mudhakkar. Right, so the same slide. Yep. Okay, so it was a short lesson, end of lesson 5. So let's recap again. In Arabic, all isms have gender. There are 2 types of gender. Number 1, mudhakkar. Number 2, muannath. Mudhakkar nouns. Number 2, Muannas nouns. There are 4 ways to find out Muannas. Number 1, noun, those cannot be used for male. By nature they are Muannas. They are called Muannas Haqiqi. Number 2, Muannas with signs. They are called Muannas Alamati. And the 3 signs: Ta marbuta, Alif maksura, and Alif mamduda. Number 3, most body parts in pairs. They are called Muannas Sima'i. And number 4, some nouns, Arab use them as Muannas. They are called Muannas Sima'i. So if we don't see any of these signs, the rest of the isms will be Mudhakkar. For example, Kitabun. Kitabun. Let's go through all these 4 of Muannas. Kitabun. Is it a human, non-human? It is non-human. So Muannas Haqiqi, we cannot apply. It's not Muannas Haqiqi. By nature, it's not Muannas. Kitabun. Number 2, any signs of Muannas? Do you have Ta marbut on Kitabun? No. Alif maksura? No. Alif mamduda? No. Number 3, is Kitabun body part in pairs? No. And number 4, did Arab use this as Muannas? No. Arab used it as Mudhakkar. So Kitabun is Mudhakkar. Qalamun, same thing. We don't find any of the ways of signs of Muannas. So Qalamun is Mudhakkar. Another example, Babun, door. Babun. We don't find any of the signs of Muannas. So the rest of the isms will be Mudhakkar. So inshallah we'll see you in the next lesson. Those of you watching us in YouTube, please learn the lessons, learn the terms we are using. And if you haven't joined our website, please join. There'll be a link at the bottom of this video. In our website, you can do quizzes and many other resources, inshallah, we'll be uploading. So we'll see you in the next lesson. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.